Let me ask you something. Who were you before the world told you who to be? Before the trauma, before the fear, before the anxiety and doubt, before someone told you to quiet down, stay small, be realistic, or keep the peace? Who was that version of you? Because that person, that essence, is still inside of you. And it's time to come back home to that truth. Hey, I'm Mike Oglesbee, and in this video, I want to go beyond surface level mindset talk. I want to help you reconnect to the part of you that never needed to be fixed in the first place. That part of you that already knows how powerful you are. That part of you that came here to shine, to accomplish. Because here's what I've come to understand after decades of my own work and helping others do theirs. Most people don't need another action strategy to change their lives. Most people are exhausted from trying this and trying that just to improve their circumstances. What people need most is to remember who they are beneath the programming, beyond all those things that have been put on them throughout life. This isn't about becoming something different. This is about coming back to what's always been true, back to authenticity. We build layers around ourselves over time. We overcompensate for the things we feel or believe we lack or don't measure up to based on other people's standards and the ones that we've learned to call our own. These are protective layers, survival layers, social layers, and emotional armor. And it makes sense because those layers are how we cope, how we make sense of pain, how we stay safe in a world that we believe and have come to know as a threat. But after a while, those same layers become cages, mental prisons that separate us from the life we came here to live and explore. And instead of protecting us, they start suffocating us. There was a time in my life when I was doing everything right on the outside. I had the routines, the goals, the tools. I was helping people and I was showing up. But privately, I was battling with self-doubt and I couldn't seem to shake it. Deep down, I believed I had to earn my worth and that if I slowed down, it would all fall apart. I believed that success was hard and out of reach for someone like me. And so I kept pushing and pushing, hoping to one day make my big breakthrough. And one day I asked myself the question, who was I before all of this? Before I became the person everybody else needed me to be? Before I became the person that fell in line with the norms of this particular society that says my net worth is my self-worth? That question opened me up to some deep work. One of the primary principles I teach is that you are a creator. And this means that whether you're aware of it or not, you are always creating your experience with your beliefs, your patterns, with your energy. Many people believe they are broken because they measure themselves against standards created by others around them. You are not broken. But if you've been programmed to believe you are, you will create a life that reflects that belief back to you again and again until you change it. Let's talk about the difference between your programming and your truth. Your programming is what the world put on you, who you should be, how you should act, what you should do. And these things are learned at a very early age, which is what we call the foundation or fundamental belief systems. But how could anyone ever know who you were designed to be? How could anyone ever know your purposes in life to teach you what you needed to know? Instead of teaching you what you needed to know, based on what's most relevant to you specifically, you were taught what they know and what they have learned, which is based on their programming, not what's right or best for you. Now, your truth is what the world could never take from you. For example, programming may say, you're not enough unless you prove it. Play small so others won't get upset. Play it safe. But the truth says you are enough because you exist. You have something only you can bring. Your voice, your gifts, your presence, they matter. You see, when you live from programming, life can feel heavy, anxious, depressing, and overwhelming. When you live from truth, life starts to align. You start to move in a certain harmonious flow with life. You find that life itself doesn't have to be so difficult and so very painful. Let me be real with you. The process of waking up to who you are, it's not easy because it means letting go of older versions of yourself confronting where you've been living out someone else's story and letting go of their narratives. It means taking radical ownership of the parts of you that you've tried to hide and have learned to rely on to meet certain needs. And one of the hardest parts is how it changes the dynamics of maybe even some of your closest relationships. It takes a lot of courage and a willingness to follow through. But the alternative? Staying stuck, living small, reaching the end of your life with regret. But all this can change if you're willing to change yourself. Now, you've heard the voice in your head say things like, I'm not lovable. I'll never get it right. This is just who I am. I'm not enough. But what if I told you that that's not you that you're hearing in your head? Those are just stories you've rehearsed for so long that it feels like truth. And what's even more is that you have the power to write a new story, because you are not the story. You are the storyteller, the narrator, and you can change the plot. One of my clients came to me with a constant performance anxiety. He was crushing it in his business, but every time things got good, he'd sabotage himself. He thought it was a fear of success, but what we discovered were two very deep-seated beliefs that could not allow him to succeed. One, if I succeed too much, people will resent me. And two, if I shine too brightly, I'll lose my relationships to jealousy. Now, those beliefs were shaping every decision he made until we rewrote the program. It didn't matter what he wanted. His programs were running the show. Now, today, he's still successful, but now he's safe being successful. He no longer has to dim himself to be accepted. And that's the power of remembering who you really are. Let me give you a simple process to start awakening the creator within. First, recognize the story. Catch the belief that's limiting you. What do you repeatedly tell yourself that keeps you small? Write it out on paper to get it out of your mind and into an objective format so you can break it down and rewrite it. Second, reclaim your truth by asking yourself, who would I be without that belief? What's actually true about me beyond my programming? Dissect that belief until you have removed all the lies and distortions it contains. Now, a really effective way of doing this is to imagine that you're helping a friend with their limiting belief. What would you tell them? And third, rewrite and rewire. Choose the new identity based on the truth that you found in step 2. Affirm it, embody it, live like it's already true, because it is. Look, it takes time and practice to install new programs, so be patient and persistent in your work. This is how neuroplasticity works. By repeating new patterns and thought processes, you teach the brain and body to perform in a new way. It's how transformation works. If you're someone who feels the deeper layer of this on a spiritual level, then you may already know that this isn't just about mindset. This is about soul. This is about who you are. Because who you are, beneath the mind, beneath the wounds, is not a problem to be solved. It's a presence to return to. But you don't have to call it God or spirit or higher self. You don't have to label it at all. You just have to listen for it. And when you do, you'll remember. You're not here to prove your worth. You're here to express it. You didn't show up to life just to survive, work, fall in line, or do what you're told, or any of the things you've been told to be or do. It's not to say go out and live a life of chaos or anarchy, but instead, I'm calling you to live authentically and to rise up, follow your heart and your deepest desires. So I want you to ask yourself honestly, what have I been shrinking for and why? What belief is shaping how I show up, and what belief would fit me better? Who would I truly like to be in this world? Because when you stop trying to be good enough and start showing up as the truth of who you are, you stop creating by accident and you start creating on purpose. That is the moment you awaken the creator within. Here's what I want you to reflect on today. What old belief are you letting go of? What truth are you reclaiming? Drop a comment below. Let's make this personal. Let's make this real. And if this message hit home, share it. There are people still stuck in layers they don't even know how to peel back. Maybe your share is the one thing that helps them start. If you want help waking up to your power, you're not alone. Download my book, Fight Back. Links in the description. And if you're ready for real change, reach out. Let's walk this together. You are not your programming. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not your struggles. You are the creator. And it's time to remember. I'm Mike Oglesbee, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.